Hello, this is Knight Ministries. I am your host, Jeremy Knight. Don't forget to stick around to the end of the video for a code word you can put in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and enjoy the show. Okay. Hello. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the vaccine. And we are going to be debunking some of the rumors about the vaccine. Rumors such as the vaccine being the mark of the beast and that it was artificially, that the virus was artificially created. We're going to be debunking that the vaccine is the mark of the beast and that the virus was artificially created. That's what we're going to be debunking in this video, okay? I want to make it clear that I think that the virus was transmitted from bats to humans, and I think that the vaccine is perfectly safe and is not the mark of the beast. Okay? Also, before we go any further, I want to make another thing clear. Yes, I have been vaccinated. I got 2 doses of the Moderna vaccine. And I feel fine. I'm not magnetic, no superpowers. Though that would have been cool. I would have liked to have had some superpowers. But unfortunately, I didn't get any. So yeah, the vaccine is perfectly safe. Hello. Okay, I'm going to do some more research on this, but for this video, I planned on listing things from the past that had been accused by like cults or different small groups of being the mark of the beast. But there are 3 things, that I know of in my head that I can name off the top of my head right now that were accused of being the mark of the beast in the past that we now know were not the mark of the beast. But yeah, I'm going to do some more research on this and see if there are some other things that were accused of being the mark of the beast in the past that we now know are not the mark of the beast. But the 3 things I know in my head that were accused of it, that we now know aren't it, were the barcode. The barcode was accused of being the mark of the beast. The QR code was accused of being the mark of the beast. And your social security number was accused of being the mark of the beast. Those 3 things I know were accused of being the mark of the beast in the past, but we now know they aren't. Okay?
Hello. So, yeah, I was doing research on a list of things from the past that could be considered the mark of the beast that turned out to not be. On all my searches on Google, I couldn't really find a good list of things. So, yeah, that search failed. But I am still pretty confident that the vaccine is not the mark of the beast. All my research has been pointing towards it not being the mark of the beast, but I am going to do more research on that. And I'll get back to you on that in a later part in this video, because all my research is going to be included in this video. One thing that kept on coming up in my research, though, was biometrics. And biometrics are basically just things like fingerprints, iris scans, and other facial markers, voice, other different body identification markers that are used by law enforcement and science and other pieces of technology to identify people. Some phones even have a face scanner to unlock. That's all biometrics. A lot of this stuff has been around for as long as I can remember, so yeah, it can't possibly be the mark of the beast. But basically, from what I understand, the mark of the beast is not going to be something that you can get by accident. It's when the mark of the beast does happen, you'll know. You'll know. It won't happen by accident. When the mark of the beast does arrive in society, it hasn't yet, but when it does, you'll know. That's the way I look at it. Okay?
Okay, so since we now know that this list of things that I listed off were not the mark of the beast, I can fairly make the prediction that the vaccine is also not the mark of the beast. That we're also wrong about the vaccine being the mark of the beast. So, all you conspiracy theorists out there, and I use that term very loosely because there's a much meaner term I can use. I'll just say it. All you idiots out there that think that the vaccine is the mark of the beast, you are wrong. It is not. Just like the things I listed that were accused of being the mark of the beast in the past, and we learned later on that they were not the mark of the beast, the vaccine is going to go on that same list. It is also not the mark of the beast. Okay?
Okay, so I just want to make sure that nobody mentions this in the comment section. Yes, I do know about the whole Nero interpretation of the Book of Revelation. What I mean by this is there are some people that think that Nero, an emperor of Rome from back in AD 68, was the mark was the beast in the Book of Revelation. I think he reigned from AD 54 to AD 68, somewhere around there. But anyways, he was said to be the beast mentioned in the Book of Revelation. I don't exactly agree with this interpretation, but I do know about it. I admire the interpretation for what it is, but I don't agree with it. The interpretation does make the Book of Revelation a little bit easier to read in certain areas, not so much in others, but I do admire their interpretation. And even from that approach, the last 3 chapters are still unfulfilled. We're still waiting for the last 3 chapters to be fulfilled, even from that approach. And Basically, the main reason I don't agree with it is because it doesn't feel right. But just wanted to make sure people know that that is there, and it is mentioned in some of the articles that I'm linking in the description. Okay? If I'm being honest, I have no idea how to read the Book of Revelation. And basically, when I read this book, I never stick to any one interpretation of it. I think that trying to stick to any one interpretation of this book is just misguided because it the Book of Revelation is a very tricky book to read, and if you try to stick to any one interpretation of it, you just wind up with a confusing mess. The Book of Revelation is a confusing mess no matter how you try to interpret it. It's a very tricky book to read. Okay? Okay, so I've finished my research on the vaccine and this whole Mark of the Beast stuff. And from all my research, from what I can tell, the vaccine is not the Mark of the Beast. The Moderna vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, they're not the Mark of the Beast. None of these vaccines are the Mark of the Beast. None of them. I did get the Moderna vaccine. I got 2 doses of it, as I mentioned earlier in this video. But it is not the Mark of the Beast. And from what I can tell in my research, everyone seems to agree that we will not be getting a Mark of the Beast anytime soon, and you can't take the Mark of the Beast unknowingly, unwittingly. You, when the Mark of the Beast does arrive, you'll know. It won't happen by accident. You can't receive the Mark of the Beast unknowingly. Because the Bible paints the Mark of the Beast as a pledge, which means people that take the Mark of the Beast will know that they're taking the Mark of the Beast. They'll know. That's what a pledge is. They'll know that they are taking the Mark of the Beast. They'll know what it is. You can't do it unknowingly. Okay? So, the vaccine is not the Mark of the Beast, okay?
Hello. So, in this segment, we are going to be talking about RFID chips. Are they in the vaccine? Well, the obvious answer is no. There are no tracking chips in your vaccines. None. Firstly, the tracking chips are too big to fit inside the needle. Secondly, they need a battery. Also can't fit inside the needle. Thirdly, the RFID chip has a range, a limited range in which it can be tracked. And according to my research here, that limited range is about 100 meters. Okay? Which means the RFID chip is woefully useless as a tracking chip for people. It is usually used as a tracking chip for rail cars, reusable containers, and other assets by businesses that need to be tracked. And why would the government try to implant tracking chips in you in the first place when they can more easily track you through your cell phone? The government is going to track you through this thing before they try to put a tracking chip under your skin. Yeah, the government isn't going to put a tracking chip under your skin. They're just going to track you through your cell phone. Law enforcement does it all the time. Anytime law enforcement needs to track someone, they track you through your cell phone. Everyone in America has one, so yeah, they're just going to track you through your cell phone. They're not going to bother with trying to put a tracking chip under your skin. It would be a waste of resources. Government and law enforcement are just going to track you through your cell phone. They're just going to track you through your cell phone. They're not going to bother with trying to put one under your skin. Okay? Okay, now time for the last part of this video. The part where I talk about where did the virus come from. Well, I've done my research, which will be linked in the description. And according to my research, the virus came from bats, sold in the wet market of China. The reason I say it came from bats is because they are most likely the primary animal. Now, there may be an intermediate animal that hasn't been identified yet, but bats are probably where the virus most likely came from. So yeah, the virus came from bats, according to my research anyways. It was not manufactured in a lab, it came from bats. Though I will admit that there might be an intermediate animal in there somewhere that hasn't been identified yet. Okay? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell. And follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. This is Jeremy Knight, and I just wanted to say, see you next time. What are you still doing here? The video's over with. You can leave now.